Meanwhile, there's been a bold attack by an al-Qaeda group half a world away, and it may increase the threat for Americans even here at home. The terror group has taken advantage of the chaos and the violence in war-torn Yemen, targeting a prison there and freeing hundreds, apparently including one of its own leaders. Let's bring in our chief national security correspondent, Jim Sciutto. He's got the details for us and the enormous implications.
No question, enormous. I spoke to a U.S. counterterrorism official today who called the situation in Yemen dire and says there's no indication things are going to get better soon. Keep in mind, Yemen home to al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula, which, along with the Khorasan group, considered the two most threatening terror groups to Americans, including the U.S. homeland, and now dozens of their fighters are free. As Yemen continues to unravel, al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula is capitalizing on the chaos, attacking a prison in the city of al-Mukalla, freeing an estimated 270 inmates. One-third of those prisoners believed linked to the terror group. A senior AQAP figure, Khaled Batarfi, is believed to be one of them. U.S. officials consider the group linked to the Charlie Hebdo attack and the underwear bomber as one of the biggest terror threats to the U.S. Now, these escaped prisoners are poised to strengthen the group just after U.S. Special Forces tracking them were evacuated from the country last month. A U.S. counterterrorism official tells CNN, quote, long-term, the instability has reduced counterterror pressure on AQAP, potentially giving them greater freedom of action to carry out attacks. AQAP's master bomb maker, Ibrahim al-Asiri, remains on the loose and now even more difficult to catch.
With the draw of our soft forces over the weekend, it certainly put us in a different posture right now. So it's much more challenging today than it was when we had people on the ground.
Now there are concerns that Saudi airstrikes backed by U.S. intelligence are just continuing to destabilize a country on the brink of civil war, leaving even more of a vacuum for terror groups such as al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula and ISIS.
They're going to be in a situation where they can control not only the territory, but potentially use that territory as a springboard for attacks in other countries.
Caught in the middle of the Saudi bombardment, an American imprisoned in Yemen on suspicion he's a member of al-Qaeda. New Jersey resident Sharif Mobley tells his lawyers on a phone call obtained by CNN that he fears for his life, as bombs seem to land near the prison where he's held.
I don't know if, I'm going to make it out of here alive. Last night there was a bomb in here from the Saudi Arabian airplane. It hit the base, but it's very scary, and it made the whole building shake.
A senior military official tells our Barbara Starr that the fighting in Yemen may for now cause AQAP's overseas plotting to be sidetracked, but Wolf, medium and long term, there's no question there's less counter-terror pressure on that group there. That's a real concern to U.S. officials, and going forward, they have eyes and ears, they got satellites, they got drones, etc., but very different from having the partner government there, those partner forces, and having those U.S. Special Forces on the ground.
Yeah, I got to agree with that official. You quoted as saying the situation in Yemen right now dire. I think that's a fair assessment, awful assessment, but fair.
And in private, I'll tell you, they use even stronger terms.
I can only imagine. All right, thanks very much for that.